Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we will discuss the 6.5 reasons why camping is great prepper practice. Let's do this. Hey everybody, as always, Joshua here with Reasonably Prepared, and I want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you to everybody who watches, to all my subscribers, to everybody who engages in the comments. It means so much to me. You have no idea. It gives me fuel to keep going and helping people with this. And I just wanted to let you in on a couple of housekeeping things. Number one, check out our merch. Links in the description for everything below. We've got t-shirts and hoodies, both zip up and pull over with our logos and with prepared does not equal paranoid. We've got more on the way. So check it out. Check out the merch. Number two, check us out on Patreon. We've launched a Patreon account. So if you like what it is we do and you want to support the channel, go on to Patreon, pick up one of the tiers. They're as low as $3 a month. Helps us tremendously with the reviews we do and buying product and buying gear and equipment and hiring editors and all that kind of stuff. So go on to Patreon if you like what we do and you want to support the channel. You can do that there. And of course, go check out our podcast, the Reasonably Prepared Podcast. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, so Spotify or Apple or whatever it is, just tune into the Reasonably Prepared Podcast, where me and Leah and some other people, sometimes we sit down to further unpack what we talk about here on the channel and preparedness. It's our opportunity to go deep, do a little bit longer form. We do put them on the channel, but if you're riding in the car on your way to work, you got on a long trip and you want to bore the kids to sleep, just go for it and put on a podcast and hopefully you find that good information. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into it. If you do any research on the benefits of camping, you're going to come up with a lot of them. There's so many of them, and they actually overlap with what I'm about to discuss. So I've looked at the benefits of camping. We go camping a bunch, and you can research that one on your own. But I'm going to narrow the field down to the niche of why it's great preparedness or prepper practice to go camping. I've got 6.5 reasons why, and I'm excited to share them with you today. If you've been watching any of my content for any length of time, you'll know one of my mantras or one of my aphorisms is practice as if. Because I like putting myself into a scenario where I'm going to be living it out like it's happening for real. And if I do that, that exercises my mind, body, and spirit on the realities of what might happen when an emergency happens. So practice as if. So that means today I'm going to go over with you the 6.5 things that I believe make camping great prepper practice. Now, when I talk about camping being great preparedness practice, I'm not necessarily talking about the very narrowed field of like ultra survivalist, minimalist camping. Hey, if that's what you're into, which I've done many times, feel free, go for it. Get yourself to the point where you could survive and live with just very minimal things. But, for those who have never really camped before or have done very little of it, don't be embarrassed, okay? Get out there, buy a tent at Walmart and some sleeping bags. You don't need expensive, fancy gear. You can rent an RV, you can rent a cabin. Instead of going to a hotel to go somewhere, rent a VRBO on a lake. There's so many ways you can do this that aren't just, ultra extreme, minimalist, survivalist prepper camping. I'm literally talking about, do some glamping, borrow a camper from a friend and do it that way. We're talking about getting yourself started or acclimated or at least forming an idea of what these things are. So I'm not necessarily talking about extreme stuff. So here are the reasons why it's so great to go camping. Number one, it forces you to unplug. Okay? Forces you to unplug from technology. Forces you to unplug from work and disconnect a little bit from the daily grind. Okay, and the stresses associated with that. So it's inherently stress reducing. Okay, when you're unplugging, forces you to breathe in the fresh air, to connect with nature, to get out of just sitting in the office or just the daily grind. It forces you to remove yourself from that. So yeah, number one is unplugging from the daily grind, from the stresses of regular life, from the distractions of technology, okay? From your phone, from your computer, from your television, from work. Breathe in fresh, clean air, Okay, it's just forces you to unplug, which is kind of in turn unwinding and de-stressing, brings elevate your stress levels, de-escalates your stress levels. Okay, there's lots and lots of studies on the health and wellness benefits of getting that vitamin D and walking around and breathing in the fresh air and things of that nature. So my number one reason why camping is great prepper preparedness is because it's a physical, tangible unplugging from the modern world. Okay, number two. Number two. Okay, so number two. Number two is in tandem with number one. And when you're unplugging, going camping forces you outside of your comfort zone. Okay, so just like it removes you from detoxing from those digital media and those digital things, and it's a de-stressor because you're not at elevated stress levels, constantly being attached to the digital world and work world. It also forces you to get out of your comfort zone and do things that are outside the ordinary scope of regular life. Forces you to consider what's important to pack, to bring with you, because you only have limited space. Forces you to learn how to cook outside with limited cooking utensils. So you get creative with how you're cooking. It forces you to live in a smaller space with your family or with other people. Okay? There's so many things that removes you from your regular daily routine and forces you outside of your comfort zone, which engages your mind, engages your spirit, and engages your body. It's great exercise for all of those things, is to get out of a comfort zone, get out of your daily routine, unplug from the television, leave that, go outside, breathe in the fresh air, feel the sunshine, feel the wind on your skin, sleep on the ground, see what it feels like to sleep on the ground. Because that way, if you're ever put in an emergency situation, it's not foreign to you. You have a better understanding of what it's going to be like to sleep in a sleeping bag on the ground in a tent, and what those noises are that you can hear outside, and what the wind sounds like, and what the birds sound like when they wake up in the morning. It'll familiarize you and your family with things that you're not ordinarily accustomed to. There's an infinite number of them. I couldn't possibly list all of them, but it gets you out of your comfort zone and into something that's new and different than what you're ordinarily used to living in. So number two is gets you out of your comfort zone. Number three. It will afford you the opportunity to learn new skills and practice them. Heck, have you ever tried to build a fire from scratch? It gives you the opportunity to do that in a safe environment. Usually campsites have fire pits. Going fishing, learning how to fish and clean fish and eat that for dinner. Once again, learning how to cook outside and cook with minimal cooking supplies because you don't have, and cook over open fire and keep proteins and vegetables and things fresh in coolers. Learn how to whittle with a knife, utensils or different things, or even just what does a knife do as it's cutting through wood. Wildlife identification, learning how to read a map and navigate the topography. The use of water purifiers or survival gadgets or different products that we have that just sit on a shelf. This is our opportunity to take those and learn how to use those as well. Even setting up and tearing down of camp is useful information to know, because if you're in an elevated situation and you're forced to go do this, at least you'll have a better understanding of where you want to put things, how you want to lay out camp. Where do you want to put the tent? Where's the food going to go? Does the food need to go in a tree because you're in bear country? Are you in a campsite so it's good to just stay, on the table? Do you put a screen around it? The act of thinking through setting up camp and tearing down camp is a useful skill to know. So number three is learning new skills and practicing and actually using them. Okay? So that's number three. Number four reason going camping is great prepper practice. Physical fitness or physical exertion. If you've never been camping because you're more of a city person or a suburban person, or you've never even considered it, let me encourage you that simply the act of unplugging, getting out of your comfort zone, learning new things are all physically demanding things. Setting up and tearing down camp, we just said, physically demanding. Going on hikes, going on long walks, bike riding, kayaking, could be hunting. You could be camping to go hunting instead of just driving in. There's so many ways camping is great physical fitness. Just the breathing in of fresh air and having the sun on you, which gives you a boost in vitamin D, which is a boost of physical energy, and mental energy, is associated with the health and wellness of being outdoors, going camping, swimming at the ocean if you're camping at the beach, hiking through the woods, swimming at the lake, gathering up of firewood. All are physically useful, physically demanding things, okay? And they get your endorphins going. They're just part of the physical application of when you're out doing things. And they're not just sitting at your desk, at a computer, making sales calls. Not that there's anything wrong with any of those things. It's just that getting out and doing things is inherently physical. Okay, and we want to make sure that our bodies are in good physical condition so that we can handle and we have a better understanding of what it's going to physically take if we're forced to leave our home in the event of an emergency or a catastrophe, or even just for the fun of, like I said, being outdoors. Number 5. What's number 5? Number 5 is a little less ominous, and what it does is it develops a sense of adventure. It develops a sense of curiosity. It develops a sense of enjoying things that are new and different, and getting out there and just exploring and seeing new things is adventurous. Once again, going on mountain bikes or going on bike rides to see the scenery, finding out what birds and what trees exist and what plants exist, and what the ocean is doing and what the lakes are doing and what the weather is doing. There's really nothing quite as satisfying sometimes as just, waking up in the morning to a slight drizzle and hearing the rain on a tent fly. It's really peaceful. It just stirs the soul. And so camping is a stirring of the soul, getting us back to nature, getting us back to the wild of what it is we used to experience, and the ebb and flow of the sun rising and then the sun setting. And ways you can do this is to pick themed camping. And what I mean by that is, like I said, hey, we're going on lake camping this camping trip. We're going to go to a lake and a cabin. This time we're going to go to the beach and explore the beach or the ocean or the shore. This time we're going to go way up into the mountains and see what the mountains are like. Or we're going to go desert camping. And the whole family gets to be involved in this new, exciting, different adventure. It's super, and once again, it's stirring for the soul. It's engaging to the mind, and it's physical for your body, which are all the things of a great and mighty adventure. Even in movies, we get so excited when the main character goes through some crazy adventure and then comes out on the other side a better person for it. And camping affords you the opportunity to do that. So that's my number 5, develops a sense of adventure. What's number 6? Number 6 is it develops great relationships. It's actually good for relationships to put ourselves through the challenging things of learning new skills, building fire, getting out of our comfort zones, all of the things we discussed so far. They're all building blocks to doing that with other people, to doing that with your children, with your wife. Camping one-on-one with your spouse or your significant other can be romantic because it's just you in nature, like how God intended it. In peaceful quiet. It can be romantic. It can be a romantic boost. So sometimes don't think about spending all this money to go out to dinner at a fancy restaurant. Do an overnight camping trip. It gives you opportunities to play games and be in close proximity with family members, with your children, to get back to basics, to get back to just the fun smile and engagement of another human being. A lot of times when you're camping, you meet new people. I was on a hunting trip with a friend and we were camping, and another person not far over at a campsite was there by himself. So we invited him over. We got to give him some food. He was on hard times. We got to pray with him and help him out. It was a super blessing. It blessed him. It blessed us. We were able to meet new people and form new relationships. I actually just read an article just recently that said kids who camp on a regular basis, believe this, blew my mind, actually do better in school and in social environments when they detach and they realize the benefits, or not the benefits, it's the gratitude of the things we already have. They actually do better in school. They get back and they're excited to learn because they're in an excited learning state. And so that's it was a neat eye-opening to me. Also, it builds incredible memories. To this day, I have, older teenage, children, and I know lots and lots of adults, and we sit around talking about the fun camping, the trips that we had, the fun hunting trips we had, the fun times we had outdoors. So the memories are worth everything when it comes to it. So number six is it's actually a good time to build great relationships and to cultivate relationships and meet new people. It's great on relationships. Which brings me to my 6.5, my little nugget that I like to give sometimes, and that is, contrary to some people's belief, camping is so much fun. It's fun. It's fun for a plethora of reasons. Number one, when you're camping, you kind of have no rules. There's no real schedule. I mean, you can make one if you want, but you're getting up when the sun comes up and when the birds wake up and you can hear them tweeting and the sun's going down, which forces you to congregate around the fire and use flashlights, which really hones in what you're doing with and staying in camp. It is so much fun to have no real agenda other than, hey, what would we like to see today? Or where would we like to hike today? Or what do we want to eat today? It's, very simple agendas. It's the joys of hearing the crackle of a fire while you're sitting around it with friends. I can't quite describe how joyful and peaceful it is to sit around the fire with my family and my friends with a good beer in my hand or a good drink and just listen to the fire roar and watch it and feed it every once in a while. I can't describe to you how peaceful that is. All my children love doing it. We all love it. And camping is the one opportunity that you can always allow s'mores. S'mores are the best. Come on. They're the camping treat. May I suggest, instead of a Hershey bar next time, using Reese's? You'll thank me. I promise. You'll thank me. And you know what? What's your favorite thing to put on a s'more? Leave that in the comments below. Give me some s'mores ideas because, man, I'm stuck on the Reese's cup on a s'more. It is the best. So there you have it. Those are my 6.5 reasons why camping is great preparedness practice. Okay? You have to unplug, you get out of your comfort zones, you learn new skills, physical fitness and mental fitness, that good for relationships, and it's super duper mega fun. Okay? So get out there. Rent a cabin, rent an RV, buy a tent, buy some sleeping bags, and just spend some time unplugging from the regular world and getting acclimated to other things that are different, because I promise you it will be very fulfilling and a lot of fun. As always, be blessed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube formalities. Helps us out. I hope you find this very, very useful. Once again, just because you're prepared does not mean you're paranoid. Have a great day. Take a little green bean casserole break. How come we only make green bean casserole during the holidays? I was wondering that, so I went ahead and made myself some green bean casserole. It's like $3 to make it. And it's delicious. Okay, where was I?